If you go into a practice and say, oh, we just want to take care of the patients, we got to take care of the patients, they're thinking, well, what about us? You need to take care of us. So your job as a leader is to take care of the people who take care of the patients. And if you take care of your staff and take care of their frustrations and their daily issues that they have with the way the practice runs, they're then willing to buy into taking care of the patient because they've been taken care of.
I'm Dr. Rick Steedle with some useful ideas for the successful, not stressful practice. Have you ever had trouble getting your staff to change or to get them to implement a new procedure or a new way of doing things? You see, 10 years ago, I took over a practice that hadn't changed significantly for about 35 years. Paper charts behind the front desk. Here's the doctor's office. A central bay with broken copy machine. Cold sterilization of instruments. Here the instruments are drying on the counter with patients in the room. Portable suction units with no central suction. Radiographs developed by dipping them in solution. Patient financial records totally unprotected on Excel spreadsheets. Even many of the overhead lights weren't working. The equipment was old, the staff unmotivated, and very few systems were in place. Everything needed to change. In another one of my practices, I was used to a highly motivated staff who understood the concept of system development and the benefit of constantly improving the practice. But in this practice, I struggled for nearly a year trying to figure out how to make changes and implement effective systems. Progress was really slow, and I was met with a lot of resistance from the staff. The particular segment you're about to hear is a brief excerpt from one of my practice management seminars with the orthodontic residents at the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. Earlier in the seminar, we had discussed how while driving to work one morning, the answer finally dawned on me. Listening to a podcast, I heard Simon Sinek say, leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. So I figured I had to meet their needs first before they were willing to commit, where I wanted to take the practice. So at the next staff meeting, I asked them what were their daily frustrations about working in this practice? What would make their time at work more enjoyable? They came up with 27 different items that they wished they didn't have to deal with each day. Some of them were quite small, like problems with the printer or how we were missing enough of some key instruments. Others were much more significant, like how chaotic the schedule was. So after recording the 27 items on a flip chart, I said to them, in the next 3 months, I will correct every one of these frustrations for you. As you can imagine, they didn't believe me. But over the next 3 months, we as a team eliminated each of the 27 frustrations they had with working in this practice. So from that point on, the staff was all in. And I think they realized two things. One, that I was fully committed to making their work life better. That it was my job to take care of them so they in turn could take care of the patients. And the second thing that I think they learned is that I keep my promises. If I said we're a practice that's going to do something, we're going to do that all the way to completion. We're going to pick up this seminar at a point where the residents were asking me questions about what happened next. Let's listen in.
When you gave the example of 27 things you took 3 months to implement, did you have any kind of reward system at the end or celebration with your staff to say this is what we accomplished?
Yeah, I took them out to lunch and we celebrated. And I think the reward was that they didn't have 27 frustrations every day. I was in that practice over a year before this idea dawned on me. I was used to being in a practice in which all these things were just given. People understood systems and all that. And then I went into this new practice and I was meeting with resistance for probably about a year, partly because he was still there, but partly because I was just assuming it was going to be like the other practice. And finally I said, wait a minute, I need to convince them that I'm going to fix things. So if you go into a new practice, this might be a good thing to do. I said, I'm going to just focus on fixing the things that the staff is frustrated by, and then let's see what happens. Once we did those 27 things, all of a sudden they were all in because they realized that I was going to take care of the people who took care of the patient. If you go into a practice and say, oh, you just want to take care of the patients, we got to take care of the patients, they're thinking, well, what about us? You need to take care of us. So your job as a leader is to take care of the people who take care of the patients. And if you take care of your staff and take care of their frustrations and their daily issues that they have with the way the practice runs, they're then willing to buy into taking care of the patient because they've been taken care of.